Okay, people, Harry and Meghan are back in the news with more controversy because now it's been named who the royal racists are that asked about the baby skin color. But as you're going to hear, there's a lot of crap going on. So this recent controversy comes out of the Oprah interview that Meghan had with Oprah Winfrey, in which she said that essentially the royal family was racist. Now, in that interview, there were so many lies that were told. Here is a list of all of the lies by Megyn Kelly. She's just going to list them all out, and she's accurate. These are straight up lies that were told by Meghan Markle during that interview.
Meghan Markle lies regularly, more than most people, about a lot. Yes, you can go back to the Oprah interview for many examples. She and Harry secretly married 3 days before their actual wedding. No. Her baby wasn't going to be a prince because of his race. No. She had her passport taken away by the palace. False. Palace HR dismissed her suicidal pleas for help. On and on and on it goes. Remember how she swore she had absolutely no contact with the writers of that fawning book, Finding Freedom, about Megxit? Compare those statements with her statements to the British courts, where she was forced to admit to the judge that, whoops, she forgot she 100% was in contact with the authors of Finding Freedom, a fact obvious to anyone who read that boot-looking embarrassment of a publication.
Now, I know that was a lot, but let me give you a little background. See, our girl Meghan, she tried to essentially force the royal family to give her son Archie a title. Now, the way the rules were written is that at the point when the Queen was alive, Archie wasn't entitled to the title HRH, His Royal Highness. And that was because he was the monarch's great-grandson. But when King Charles ascended to the throne, then he would have the ability to get HRH status. Now, why is that important? Well, that comes with security. It comes with a whole bunch of perks, right? He's an actual prince. So upon hearing that her child, when he was born, wouldn't be bestowed HRH, Meghan had it in her mind to put pressure on the royal family to do it, to go against tradition.
This is something that is taking up acres of newspaper inches. So we have to go back to 1917. I'll try not to be too geeky with this, but George V, in an effort to streamline the monarchy, he issued letters patent that said, children of the sovereign, grandchildren of the sovereign in the male line, and the eldest son of the eldest son of the Prince of Wales, eligible for HRH, which is a style, and the title Prince or Princess. That's why Harry's children didn't qualify when the Queen was on the throne. Now that Charles is on the throne, because those grandchildren are on the male line, technically they qualify for the HRH and the Prince or Princess. But when Harry and Meghan left the royal family, the Queen determined that they couldn't use their HRH style. So it makes sense, therefore, that the children wouldn't use an HRH style. It'd be a bit odd if their parents couldn't use it, but they could, bearing in mind they are age 1 and 3 years old as well. The Prince or Princess, yes, technically, now their grandfather is the king, they are entitled to use those titles, but they live overseas. I think Charles is very aware that America is not a Commonwealth realm. It's not even a member of the Commonwealth of Nations. I think, again, they're going to be anxious about any kind of commercialization of the royal family.
So now, seemingly, because of the way the law was, Meghan's child at the time wasn't going to get HRH status. It wasn't going to be called Prince. So she found it upon herself to try to make it into a race issue, to make it seem like the British family was racist. That's why he wasn't getting the title. Check it out. Here's the clip from the Oprah interview.
Certainly must have had some conversations with Harry about it and have your own suspicions as to why they didn't want to make Archie a prince. What are those thoughts? Why do you think that is? Do you think it's because of his race? And I know that's a loaded question, but
I can give you an honest answer. In those months when I was pregnant, all around this same time, so we have in tandem the conversation of he won't be given security, he's not going to be given a title, and also concerns and conversations about how dark his skin might be when he's born.
What?
And
who is having that conversation with you? What?
So,
There is a conversation. Hold up.
there's
Stop
several
right now.
there's several conversations.
There's a
about it.
conversation with you
With Harry.
about how dark your baby is going to be?
Potentially, and what that would mean or look like.
Ooh. And you're not going to tell me who had the conversation?
I think that would be very damaging to them.
Okay. So how does one have that meeting?
That was relayed to me from Harry. Those were conversations that family had with him. And I think
Whoa.
it was really hard to be able to see those as compartmentalized
Because they were
conversations.
concerned that if he were too brown, that would be a problem. Are you saying that?
I wasn't able to follow up with why, but that if that's the assumption you're making, I think that feels like a pretty safe one.
So let's just keep it 100. They told Meghan Archie would not be called a prince because he wasn't entitled to that based on the law. And she tried to put pressure on them by saying, well, it's really because he's black. That's the reason why. And that's why this whole conversation even was exposed, because she was trying to say the people who are making the decisions about who to give the title prince and princess to are saying that her child can't get it because he's black and his skin color may be too dark, right? That's what she's essentially alluding to. So now let me just be straight up with you guys. Asking what do you think the baby's going to look like is not racist at all, right? Meghan was trying to use that to force them to give him a title, right? That's not a racist statement. Even black people want to know what color the baby's going to be. Matter of fact, Chris Rock had a whole show where he made fun of that. Here's that clip.
Racist is so racist. Some of that shit she went through was not racism. It was just some in-law shit. Sometimes it's just some in-law shit. Because she's complaining. I'm like, what the fuck is she talking about? Oprah, they're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby was gonna be. They're so racist. They wanted to know how brown the baby's gonna be. I'm like, that's not racist. Because even black people wanna know. How brown the baby gonna be? Shit. We check behind them ears. That's a scientific test. Because you got to see what kind of black child you going to get. Is this a Steph Curry baby? Or a Draymond Green baby? That Draymond baby going to have a hard life.
Now, we all know what they were claiming, right? That the royal family was racist. That's why they were asking about the skin color. But Harry and Meghan even went as far as to accept an award for calling out the royal family's racism, right? To make sure there's no doubt. They were saying the royal family was racist. Here's the clip of them accepting the award.
Prince Harry and Meghan are to be given a Ripple of Hope award in America. It's awarded from the Robert F. Kennedy Human Rights Foundation, who say that the couple took a heroic stand to oppose structural racism in the monarchy. Previous recipients of the award include Desmond Tutu and Barack Obama. But
now, after all that, and a shocking, and I mean shocking move, when Harry was asked about it directly, he said, no. They didn't accuse the family of being racist. That's crazy, bro. That's the press that was doing that. Of course, his family's not racist, and he never accused them of being racist. Listen to it for yourself.
In the Oprah interview, you accuse members of your family of racism. You don't even...
The British press said that.
Right.
Did Meghan ever mention that they were racist?
She said there were troubling comments about
there
Archie's
was
skin
concern
color.
about his skin colour.
Right. Wouldn't you describe that as essentially racist?
I wouldn't, not having lived within that family.
Now, Harry thinks we're all dumb, right? Because if it wasn't racism and it wasn't a big deal, then why hide the names? Why not say, that's what my father said. So, obviously it wasn't racist. He didn't mean to say that, right? Why continue to hide the names, right? We don't know who said it, but it wasn't racist, even if somebody did say it. They hid the names and he didn't tell us who said it, is because they know they wanted to have this thing over their head. They wanted to imply that the royal family was straight up racist, right? Now, that backtrack by Harry saying that no, they never claimed that the family was racist was so bad, even the leader of BLM in London came out and called Harry and Meghan liars. This is somebody who was on their side saying, we love Meghan, we love Meghan. She had to come out and call them a liar. Check this out.
Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter! Black Lives Matter!
My name is Iman Aiton.
Stop killing them and them!
I started BRM, the Black Reformist Movement. I am very much focused on institutionalized racism.
Say why I call her a liar. She said to Oprah Winfrey her son had not been made a prince because of his skin colour. Absolute lie.
Okay, so this is what... Okay,
it's a lie.
By virtue of the fact that you've come out with that opinion or thought, shows me that you have a very rudimentary understanding of racism. So let me break it down to both of you. The reason why institutions are able to perpetuate racism is because they rely heavily on covert racism, which is hard to prove, therefore it thrives. Let me just break it down some more because you clearly don't understand.
So as you see, she's all in, right? They're racist, they're racist, racist, racist. But now Harry's come out and said, well, they're not racist. So now this is her happening to now explain, like, oh my God, I was calling them racist too. That, hey, okay, they fooled me. They're liars. Listen to what she says.
What I do like, I like getting to the truth.
Yes.
Which is not my version of it. It's not Prince Harry's. It's not Meghan Markle's. It's not even your version of the truth. Truth should be sacrosanct. Yes. And it seems to me we've moved from the royal family were racist about the skin colour of our baby to we never meant to say anything about them being racist.
Yes.
And I'm sorry, you can't do that and let that hang there for 2 years with all of them under suspicion.
So that was never the issue, so I'll just make it nice and clear. They made a claim of racism because the statement itself is racist. They knew it then, they know it now, and they also knew how it was going to be perceived. And I just want
I have not seen a shred of evidence that any member of the royal family was racist about their baby. Not a shred. And now it looks to me like they've climbed down completely and hope we all just move on and forget it.
Okay, so what I will say is I will happily and humbly accept the defeat when it comes to them being called liars. They have proven themselves to be liars. However...
And isn't it damaging? Look, you're a Black Lives Matter activist. Is it not incredibly damaging to the cause of trying to get rid of racism in society? And I don't think Britain's a racist country, but we still have racists in it. That in our efforts to try and expunge this country of all racism, it's not very helpful when the sixth in line to the throne throws a race grenade, and his wife does, at the royal family, and it turns out not to be true.
Well, I have to say, so like I said, I will concede that they are liars.
So I thought that was the end of the story, right? What does it even matter who said it, right? Anybody could have said it now because now we know it's not racist at all. It was never racist, right? They admit it wasn't even racist. But it's come back up. Why? Well, Harry and Meghan, they have a secret PR person, and that person's name is Omid Scobie. Now, they use him when they want to get out salacious stuff, but don't want it to be attached to them. So previously, there was a book that Omid wrote called Finding Freedom. It had a lot of salacious stuff in it, written from a fanboy's perspective of Harry and Meghan. Now, in that book, there was a lot of private stuff in there, but Harry and Meghan denied working with Scobie, and Scobie went around the world saying he didn't work with them, he never worked with them, he never worked with them, right? Now, remember, that is what he was saying. Listen to him say it, just so you don't have to believe me. Listen to him saying he didn't work with Harry and Meghan on the book Finding Freedom.
Did Harry and Meghan help you with Finding Freedom?
On multiple occasions, Finding Freedom co-author Omid Scobie denied to us ever working with Harry and Meghan.
No cooperation from the couple whatsoever.
Did you work with Harry and Meghan?
As I've said before, Harry and Meghan didn't take part in the process of this book.
So you heard that, right? Straight up denial. But now, here's what happened when Meghan went to court and had to turn over discovery. And they found that, oh, guess what? You were involved with the writing of the book. And you were giving details to Omid Scobie. Even though he was out lying about it and telling everybody he wasn't. Here's that clip.
16 hours after blasting the British tabloids, Meghan's privacy lawsuit in a London appeals court took a dramatic turn.
There is an element of hypocrisy here. Mr. Knauf's witness statement says he has multiple conversations with her about this book. Time?
Private text and emails were read in court, including one from Harry.
I totally agree that we have to be able to say we didn't have anything to do with it. It would help to get some truths out there.
Previously, the Sussexes have said that a spokesperson said the couple did not share any information, did not contribute to a biography called Finding Freedom. However, yesterday in court, a witness, a senior aide to the Duchess, said that actually there were a number of meetings, both in person and over email, about that publication, that the Duchess of Sussex had shared information, had shared points to be shared with the authors. So there's a contrast in those two accounts. Now, as you say, the Duchess of Sussex has been very clear that she did not intend to mislead the court. She says that she forgot about the way that that information was shared. She understands that she did share with her aide, but she didn't know fully the context in which it was shared. So that's the focus of discussion at the moment. She also gives a bit of background in court in her witness statement, saying at the time she could have declared those emails. She was going through a very difficult time. She was in the later stages of pregnancy. She'd suffered a miscarriage, which of course was very distressing. She was being advised to avoid stress by her medical advisors. So she gives that background, but she apologises for the omission and says it wasn't intentional.
All right, so now with all that, now we know Omid Scobie's lying about being involved with them. You know she can lie about to the court, right? She can lie to the court and get caught about, leaking information. We have all that background. Now brings us to the news of the day. So Omid Scobie now has this new book out, whatever the name, Endgame. And in that book, he names who the royal was who asked about the baby speaking skin color. Now, mind you, they've already said it wasn't racist. They've already said this is essentially a nothing story. But he names a person. Now, I need you guys to really think about this. Who could he have gotten that information from? Who would have known? It could have been Harry. Could have been Meghan. Do you think the king would have given that information? Do you think his brother, Prince William, do you think he would have given? Who do you think, if you had to put $1 billion on it, right? If I said, I bet you a paycheck. Number one, who knew that information? Who could have given him that information? It's a mystery. But Omid Scobie says he got it from a secret source. Just like he said it with Finding Freedom, right? He got it from a secret source. He's got it from a secret source. Nobody knows. And now he's even backtracking and saying he didn't even put the names in there. Somebody else put the names in there. But it's a mess. So first, here's how the names were leaked.
There's no escaping the so-called royal race row. It's still rumbling on, with reports today suggesting that Omid Scobie's agent did send a draft version of his book, naming the people at the centre of the scandal, to a Dutch publisher. Copies of Endgame in the Netherlands were pulled from the shelves last week after the Princess of Wales and the King were accused of being the two senior members of the family who raised concerns about the skin colour of Harry and Meghan's first child, Archie. The author, Omid Scobie, has repeatedly denied submitting a book with names in it. But a source has told the Times newspaper, this is a front-page story in the Times, that a draft manuscript was sent weeks before publication, which did, in fact, include the names. The translator interpreted that one rather than the final approved version.
So now Omid Scobie was asked directly about this. Like, how the hell did those names get in your book, right? You wrote it. So here's him explaining how he doesn't know how those names came about, or, it's just a miracle. It's a miracle.
A name being named in the Dutch version of your book.
Well, two names.
That just seems bizarre to everybody out there, because you don't accidentally put in a name and you can't put it down to mistranslation, can you? It does feel like a stunt to sell books, which I understand.
I wish it was the case.
Okay, how did that happen?
It's still being investigated right now.
What do you think happened?
I wrote and edited the English version of the book with one publisher. That then gets licensed to other publishers. I obviously can't speak Italian, German, French, Dutch, or any of the other languages that come out. So the only time you hear about the book is once it's come out in the public domain. I'm as frustrated as everyone else. I make it very clear in this book that I, in every way possible, want to adhere to the laws surrounding this subject. It's why I've been very careful in how it's described in the book, and it's why I've never spoken about it beyond what I've said in the public domain before. The reality is, though, is that this is information that is not privy just to me, journalists across Fleet Street have known those names for a long time. We've all followed a certain code of conduct when it comes to talking about it. It's frustrating that now what's going on in the Netherlands with the book that was obviously immediately rescinded and is now being reprinted has happened, and I'm glad to hear so. But for me, I can only talk about the English version of the book that I wrote and produced.
But are you upset by it, though? Are you upset by it that those names came out when it had nothing, you didn't want that to happen?
I had never submitted a book that had their names in it, so I can only talk about my version.
Yeah.
I'm obviously frustrated. I wouldn't say I'm upset about it, because, to be honest, I've been operating in a bubble of no emotion for the last 10 days. But I am frustrated about it, just like I am many of the other things that I've seen written or said about the book.
So I'm going to say it. I think Omid Scobie is a bold-faced liar. I think Omid Scobie is a bold-faced liar. I just think, just like when he sat up there in all those interviews, no, sir, I was not helped by Harry and Meghan with Fond and Freedom. I had nothing. They had nothing to do with it. I got no information from them. Then in court, oh yes. They obviously helped me. They were sending me information. You know, Meghan says I was sending me information. And now we're supposed to go and believe, okay, you write another book that's a hit piece on the royal family, helping Harry and Meghan. Oh no, I don't know anything about it. Who the hell is Harry and Meghan? No, Omid, no. Fool me once, shame on you. You can't get fooled again, right? So, again, his credibility is shot. You got caught out there. And now you're trying to help your friends, which is fine. You threw out those names, but I don't see what the big deal is. Please, people, write in the comment section. Tell me what the big deal is. Everybody admits from both sides, right, that this wasn't racist. So what does it even matter that the names are out there? Hey, maybe it was a British thing that I just will never get. But this book is probably trash. I'm not buying it and reading it because I think this guy's a straight up liar. Like, he got caught before and now he's just trying to do it again. But those are my feelings. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Do I like great YouTube stuff. My name is Nate the Lawyer, and I will see you on the next one. Peace.